Just
Well,
roll your
we're at the
dice.
dragon part now, though. Ugh.
Getting there.
Or will we
All
get to
right.
the dungeon part first?
Will we
Or
get there? I think it's
perhaps
the question.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Ooh, that would be fun.
So, when last we saw the Trollskull Six, you successfully defended the Golden City of Tarir and the legacy of the Prophet Dragon Glint. After taking 5 days, the bare minimum, working with absolute efficiency, you were able to prepare yourselves and the rest of the Pact army to make their next excursion to combat the Elder Dragon Mordremoth. It took a couple of days' travel through dense jungle, very difficult terrain, but eventually, with the combined efforts of the Pact, the Itzel scouts, and several new allies, you were able to find your way to the headwaters of a series of canyons that twist maze-like through a natural rock formation, merging into a great wide, shallow river on the opposite side. There, you know, 3 great blighting trees form a twisted grove that the locals refer to as the Dragon's Stand. This night, you and your allies are camped behind a low ridge, concealing yourselves from what lies ahead as you prepare for the assault to come early the next day. Trollskull 6, is there anything you would like to do this evening before you take your long rest? We may have covered this last time, but just to be sure.
We had our heroes feast. I mean, I think I already rolled.
Good roll.
Yeah, what was the HP on that? Because when I did the long rest, it reset the
14.
14. Cool.
Okay.
Nice roll.
Actually
Yeah, I
wrote
do
that
it.
down. And Galatar cast Gift of Protection for contingency.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I had that written down somewhere.
I'm really trying to be better about my own notes.
Mine are more ephemeral than exact. Notes are just vibes.
Mine are pretty sparse.
I try and keep. I don't keep combat notes.
Lore, I try.
Yeah, shit happens.
Oh,
My
before
notes for the last 2 sentences are literally like 5 words, so.
Yeah.
I drew one of the mushrooms. You can't see it.
One of the joys.
They're joy.
That was
And
so
we'll-
crazy.
we're all sitting around for dinner. Galatar will just go ahead and do ritual for water breathing, just in case anything would happen that would necessitate. You never know. You can drown an upturn into water, guys.
Yeah.
Scary world out there.
It's gonna be wild when that comes in handy one day.
Might be today. Who knows? Get stunned, you fall prone right into a bog.
That could be it.
Drown.
Yeah. Right. Well, around the very low and carefully tended campfires this evening, kept very low and very dim, shielded from the night air, things are quiet by the order of General Almora. You hear whispered conversations. There is no song and no laughter. There's tension in the air, but also a watchfulness and an almost palpable eagerness. People anxious to get a little of their own back after the surprise battle upon entering the jungle. As the next day dawns, preparations are made. You got your long rest. You have the brief window as camp is struck. Some supplies and things aren't actually packed, like supply wagons and things like that are actually left behind because they don't plan on making camp further in. This should be either the place you return to by evening or the following day, or not at all. But you do have a brief window. If anyone needs to prepare new spells or change out attunements or anything like that between the night and the morning, you have a little bit of time.
And this upcoming day is the day that we will not only get to that ridge, but then we would descend from the ridge into the mist and do our whole plan, right?
The theory is that when you reach the dragon stand, they will go full tilt into the Mordrem, and you guys will branch off and head towards the lair.
Okay. And that's our whole 4-minute wind walk thing. Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, if you guys decide to wind walk, you can make the journey in about 2 minutes. It's a very short thing if you're going fast pace with wind walk. It's a stupid spell for moving. Oh no, yeah, and technically 4 because it's a minute to transform and a minute to shift
Yeah.
back. That's right.
Yeah, it was like 4 minutes total to go from wherever the ridge was into the basin to near where the tree was, and then transform back.
All right. Preparations are made, and the Pact forces begin to move out, separating into columns. 3 distinct columns that will be traversing these streams. As the sound of the rushing water grows louder, you guys approach and you see sort of high cliff wall. It's only about 75 feet high in most places. It's a little uneven, but it is pockmarked with small crevices and these 3 larger canyon-like openings, a couple hundred yards spaced from each other, and the Pact begins to separate off in their different directions. The plan is to meet up on the other side. You know that it goes for a couple of miles through, and it's going to take time. Scouts indicated these were heavily guarded passages. And it does not take long upon entering as these towering walls of stone close in around you, damp with the moisture of the jungle air, dimming the light of the sky overhead, which itself has grown overcast, threatening rain. And you begin to hear fighting, sounds of combat break out. Flip over to some music. Give me a second to switch the sounds around here. Turn that down a little bit. Get rid of this and this. Yeah. Just a little bit of combat here. Set the tone. Okay. The Battle of Dragon's Stand begins as the Pact separates and enters into these canyons, almost immediately encountering some form of resistance. Blighted Sylvari, monstrous tree creatures, clusters of thorny vined plants, animated, hostile. Your first task is to assist your allies in establishing a sort of beachhead that will allow you to fall back if necessary, and also provide you a little foothold as you progress. So this is pretty wide open, and this is going to be also so each step of this skill challenge represents about an hour's worth of progress. It's a group check each time, but we're going to go ahead and have everybody make a check every time. We're going to be a little more loosey-goosey with repeating stuff if it makes sense, but with that, I will say, because you succeeded on rescuing the survivors in your last check in Tarir, your numbers, the ranks around you have swollen, and you have advantage on these checks because you have more allies than you otherwise would. So, to help establish some fortifications or capture a good point to start your press into the canyons, who would like to go first?
So I would say it could be anything, yeah?
Within reason. I've got a DC set. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And I have samples in case people get stuck and can't think of something to apply, but otherwise, yeah, if you have a skill you'd like to try to employ, the fun of this is supposed to be you coming up with a way to explain narratively how you are helping to meet this objective.
I mean, I think Birdie, especially like kind of on the initial route, you know, kind of like before we reach like the main resistance, would like to like have his loot out and like Lord of the Rings style, like be playing a ballad that they're like marching into battle with, kind of like, especially to give like us a like badass vibe, so that like you project confidence for the Trollskull Six, so that like as people look and hear, they're like, okay, these guys are, you know, with us, and like we are ready to go, and we're gonna do this kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
adventure begins.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, if I could, I was thinking performance for that, as he just kind of riffs
Sure.
with us.
Okay.
Right.
You whip up the soldiers around you into a battle frenzy, bolstering their resolve and giving them confidence.
Yeah, click the button. Click it.
D&D Beyond isn't working for me.
Oh, there it goes.
Natural 20.
Already stepping. This is Lord of the Rings. Gandalf is riding in on his white horse. High dulce tones of Birdie the Bard. Seeming to echo throughout the chasms, I think, and like the crevasses that they're kind of the little like canyons that they're walking through. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys get some kick-ass theme music as you come in. Who wants to go next? We're
So
gonna
this is
wait
still-
until the end before we reveal whether you pass or fail.
Go ahead, Kala.
Could I try investigation? Like watching the enemy, seeing where they're likely to attack from next, predicting their movements.
Yeah, trying to observe their tactics and calling out to people. Yeah. Another natural 20. Okay.
Let's go. Cole and I, our backs are hurting carrying this team right now.
Alright, fair enough. Who's next?
Could I use Arcana to help set up like the magical equipment and stuff that we have with us to use it as tactically as possible to maximize its efficiency and whatnot?
Yeah, you've got Priory Scholars and other magisters out there setting up tripwires and traps and arcane wards and stuff. You can advise them and help them to set those out as potently and carefully as possible. Sure.
Okay, that's no nat 20, but it is a 29.
Okay. Alright, Keytree?
So I was gonna try. I don't know what this would count as. But if Keytree could, I guess, help advise people on like a little bit like what Kala was doing, but more like in like the context of like the terrain or the cavern, and like finding places for people to sort of like hide out, or you know, this is safe behind here for a moment, or like you can duck behind this corner or some sort of thing like that. So not so much looking for enemies, but like keeping the troops that we have safe.
And what skill are you thinking to employ here?
Oh, well,
Like
I was-
perception to find the, like to
Yeah.
notice holes and nooks and places?
I was thinking either like perception or survival, maybe? If it's like being in tune with the environment.
Yeah, okay. I mean, survival certainly is a viable skill. Yes. Using
Oh.
parts of the natural landscape and yeah,
Okay, I'll use survival then. And this is with advantage, right?
it is.
That is an 18.
Okay. All right, Alexa.
Could I attempt to intimidate some of the enemies by just, setting a lot of shit on fire? Like keeping them at bay, clearing the
Yes.
path, pushing forward.
And we don't need to change the ability score because you cast with your charisma. So either way, it's charisma. So yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh, I didn't roll the advantage.
Okay.
20.
Yeah. Running through, just going ham. Just fire bolts getting flung everywhere. And at your level now, the fire bolts, like you hit Mordrem creatures and they just start withering and scorching on the vine. Yeah. All right. Is that everybody?
I gotta go.
Yeah.
D&D Beyond is super not working for me, which is really annoying. But I don't know my modifiers, but are you cool with winging it? Going it based on vibes?
So mine's working at the moment. Let me see. I can probably look up your character.
Because I can just roll.
You also roll in Foundry though, right?
I'll just roll in Foundry. I just don't know the modifiers off the top of my head.
I believe I've imported your character sheet. Let me double check. Rena, level 17?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so if you click you can either double click your token and see the full sheet, or you can use the little shortcut bar at the top left when your token's clicked.
Ryan. Okay, I didn't know this. Awesome. Cool. Okay, great. So Brina wants to do something fairly similar to Galatar, except instead of from like the arcane perspective, just bringing in like physical reinforcements and physical defenses. She's very smart and also incredibly strong. So just moving shit.
So athletics?
Yeah. Athletics.
Yeah, not a problem. That was one of the examples I had. So you're like picking up sharpened logs and like bracing them into the ground, just like slamming them down and angling them to create like a fortified position, moving heavy stones and helping people haul on ropes to like lift boulders for makeshift traps and shit.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, it is very difficult. It is, everything in here is like slick with moss and dew. Overall,
did you roll with advantage? On athletics?
No. But I don't think I do.
He gave.
You do.
Oh,
a
sorry.
Got worse.
It's okay.
Got worse.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh,
We started off real
Distracted
strong and
the
then kind of
beyond.
tapered there at the end.
it kind of did get a little weak there at the end.
Yeah, no. The two nat 20s at the top really set the tone, and we did not follow through.
The bar was here and it ended about here.
Yeah. All right. So as the first hour of the battle begins to wear on, you guys find that you are able to push the Mordrem deeper and deeper into the canyons. And while they offer resistance, it hasn't as yet been very organized. You succeed on your first level of the challenge. As you move inward, the canyons kind of branch a little wider open. They're little dead ends and spider-like branches that kind of reach off to the sides every now and then, just narrow in a variety of widths, but mostly like more narrow than a person. But also, super tall, like cracks in the rock. Your second challenge, as you move the Mordrem back and these canyons begin to widen out on their main pathways, you want to try to outflank them. It's not all just straight cliff walls. Sometimes there are ledges or small hills that are created by sediment that's piled up over whoever knows how long. So you're going to try to outflank your enemy. There are even places where the canyon gets so wide that there are little pockets of trees off to the side, clinging some to the walls and some to what look like piles of scree that has eroded off the sides of the cliff sides. So there's a variety of paths and ways around here, lots of cover. and lots of interesting terrain as these canyons branch and get wider and shift, kind of snaking around. I think because everybody's going, I'm just going to go down the list on my screen the way I see it. I make it a little easier. So we will start with Alexa.
I will take the easy route this time then, and I would like to use perception and just keep an eye out, keep track of where they're running, try and direct people which way to go.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make your perception check.
22.
Guys, listen as Alexa begins to call out troop movements as she sees them. Some Mordrem units trying to take cover amongst the trees and debris, some crawling up behind boulders, some appearing along the tall edges of the cliffs. That brings it to Kitri next, and then Galatar.
So this is, what's the like overall goal again of like this part, this check?
Trying to outflank the enemy, to kind of move around them and get in a better position than them to give yourself advantage. Oh, and I will say this is also with advantage because you succeeded on the scout ahead step in Tarir.
I have no clue what I'm doing. Are there any, like, I'm assuming there's not, like, there's not animals around or anything. People are fighting. Animals aren't about to be, like...
Well, there are animals in and among the Pact. There are horses and things that are, like, drawing siege weapons and stuff like that.
I meant more like...
Animal handling?
So I'm thinking, if there was any way Kitri can, like, dart off into the forest and essentially try and get, like, a jungle creature. She doesn't know if there's either a pack of something or, like, a horde of insects or, like, a large predator, and get it to run out at the enemy, trying to, like, have a direct sort of, like, maybe not an attack, but, like, something that would get them to move in a direction that would be helpful. If that makes any sense.
You want to use your animal handling skill to do this?
Would that work?
I'll say yes, because you have... I'll tell you what, at least one of your items, I don't know how many, but at least one, I think, gives you the ability to speak with animals. Or the speech of beast and leaf. I think it's the Amayali's Tear.
I think so.
So because you can communicate with beasts, at least in some fashion, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Kitri vanishes into the trees at various points, and you hear, "Hello, bees!"
That's 22. A 22.
Okay. Yeah, and periodically, you guys suddenly hear the angry swarming of stinging insects or calling raptor birds, hawks and falcons and things. Every now and then, perhaps the hissing of snakes as different clusters of animals throughout this hour moving their way out of the woods suddenly to on either side, attacking the Mordrem or driving them in one direction at least. Brings it to Galatar, and Brina's up next.
Yeah, can Galatar use his, I would assume in his sort of readings of histories and other things, that he would be familiar with some famous battle tactics that have worked for flanking opponents, whether it's a feint or something to get around to the rear. If he could kind of try and use that knowledge to help deploy the troops quickly and efficiently.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay. That's a 19 plus 11 for 30.
Okay. That'll bring it to Brina and then Bertie.
Okay. Are you okay with repeats of someone else's but not necessarily your own?
Yes.
If I'm able to use survival or nature, in order to do like some terrain analysis as far as like if we're doing troop movements, what is the most solid direction to go in as far as terrain perspective goes.
Calling out, there'll be a better vantage point from those trees. They have fewer needles, or the needles
Any
are thinner.
suspicious looking grass, you know.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make your survival check.
And we have advantage on this.
Yes, you do.
Okay, 27. Woo!
Okay. All right, that brings it to Birdie, and finally Kala.
Okay, I think as this kind of unfolds, if Birdie could use his insight, kind of staying back, reading the field of battle, trying to gauge where the next push from the enemy is going to come from to like get, bolster those defenses, or kind of trying to read the flow of movement throughout the and like where the next move of the enemy is going to come from, to kind of like intuit that thought process.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he would try and do.
Yeah, go ahead and make your insight check.
$19. Wow, those were two really bad rolls. That was a 3 and a
It's
5.
really funny how that works.
Yeah.
All right, and then finishing out with Kala.
I'd like to use acrobatics. Maybe get up places other people can't get and secure like a guideline so we can get troops to like unexpected places or to take shortcuts.
Interesting. Yeah. So you notice that there are a couple of places throughout the canyon where parts of the canyon have been worn into like stone arches, and you're able to secure like climbing gear, put pitons and stuff in the walls so that some of the other scouts can get up there, and archers, arcane casters can get up and get a better vantage point, advantage on their foes. 34, all right. You guys are rolling hot tonight.
And my 22s feel weak.
All right. All right, with another hour passed, you guys managed to successfully kind of coerce the Mordrem to move the way you want them to, and lead the Pact successfully into advantageous positions as you push yet still deeper into these canyons, making progress without much resistance. Having suffered these setbacks, the Mordrem now redouble their efforts, and as you, the Trollskull Six, emerge from what looks to be some sort of choke point where the canyon walls narrow, you are met with your very first true skirmish of foe against foe on the battlefield. So your next challenge is to win your first skirmish, trying not to duplicate skills that you've used before. You can use stuff other people have used, but try not to use ones.
Are you sure, Ryan? I've only really got the one.
I punch things.
And because you succeeded on the planned battle tactics challenge, you have advantage on these checks. And this time we'll just go in reverse order. So we'll start with Kala and then Birdie.
Can I use stealth for this? Like that's mostly what
Yeah.
I do in battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Get into a good position, hiding, getting those sneak shots. Sure. Okay. Birdie and then Brina.
Okay, how about perception, as Birdie tries to like kind of pick out, again, like he's not exactly somebody you want in the fray, but in terms of like picking out details of how the battlefield's moving, picking out like certain small details that might give us an edge in terms of where to move or not move, kind of thing.
Looking for people who are trying to outflank you, noticing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Perception's good.
Is this with advantage or is it straight?
Yeah. This is with advantage. You guys succeeded on planning battle tactics, so.
24.
Alright, 24. Brings it to Brina and then Galatar.
Okay, I would like to use intimidation to kind of make a
Hell
like
yeah.
a dent, and these forces here, just the belt of fucking Mordrem skulls I've decided to don.
Absolutely.
It is okay intimidating. It is 15 out of 20 intimidating.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
All right,
I'll
that
scare
brings
your
it
average.
to Galatar and then Keytree.
I would like to use performance since it's reflective of like Galatar's skill with his blade and his blade song to just kind of weave in and out of the fray without taking hits and still dealing effective damage.
Okay.
That's 15 on the first one. So 26.
26. Okay. Brings it to Keytree and then Alexa.
Is there any way I could try to use insight to essentially kind of see what they're trying to do next? Ish, or like read into like what the enemy's overall tactic is.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oof. Okay, it's a 16.
Okay. Alexa to finish it up.
So not necessarily a skill repeat, but a action repeat. Obviously, I would like to throw a lot of fire bolts everywhere, but could I use Arcana this time? Because it's just I'm less intimidating. I'm less trying to be my presence and more just this is magic.
Yes. Yeah, you can use Arcana. Arcana's a weird skill to describe, like in my brain canon. But yeah, you can use Arcana.
Well, I guess it does specifically say, as I read it, your ability to recall lore about spells.
So that would be an intelligence Arcana to recall how magic works and like what but so you basically what you would be doing is drawing upon your knowledge to inform how you use your magic, like what would be the most effective way of leveraging your skill in the given situation. Now I feel better.
Well, and then that case, just for the sake of the balancing, should I spend some spell points maybe then to make up the difference in the modifier? Because my Arcana is a +9, and normally I would have 11 for Charisma. So spend spell points to balance that? I don't know, I'm just throwing out.
You can just use your intelligence Arcana.
Okay.
As you watch the Mordrem coming at you and you're observing the battle with Keytree, you guys are all sort of planning your actions very quickly. And so you're trying to determine what would be the best use of force. And it's not just you guys. There are other Pact people with you. So because you are commanders, a lot of the people around you, not necessarily their captains, but a lot of the soldiers do need to listen to you. And you're calling out orders to the Priory casters and some of the Order of Whispers mages to deploy their magical tactics as well. Alright. You guys are doing really well. After another hour, this skirmish takes some time. There is a good choke point on either end of what looks like a kind of wide clearing in this canyon that you're in, sort of a bowl-shaped or a circular-shaped area. It looks like maybe water had gathered here for some time before the canyon itself kind of cracked open and allowed the water to pass through more freely. But eventually, with the aid of your Pact allies, you are able to continue to push forward and make more progress still. As the day wears on, you find yourselves entering a section of the canyon where the Mordrem have fled in advance of you, leaving behind them a massive thicket of razor vine that clings to the sides of the canyon walls and fills up about 6 or 7 feet high, wall to wall in front of you. Your fourth challenge is to clear a path through the razor vine thicket. And this is tough brambles with razor sharp thorns that get into everything. Clothing, armor, even the Char siege engines have this stuff tangling in their wheels. And while it doesn't necessarily damage them, it can like gum them up and make them stop rolling. How are you helping to clear a path? And this time we'll start from the other end, so we'll go with Alexa first.
I don't know. I wish I would have had Arcana to set it on fire. Yeah, what will I do? Man.
And as you're considering what skills you might use, remember, you are not alone. There are Priory Magisters, there are Arcanists, there are spies from the Order of Whispers, skilled in a variety of things from stealth to combat to intelligence gathering. There are Vigil Soldiers, there are siege engines, arcane armaments.
I think I would like to try nature. Try and just find where to set it on fire, instead of just going a little willy-nilly about it. Be a little more strategic.
Okay. Make your name.
I was about to ask.
Because you succeeded on the improved defenses in Tarir, your siege engines and weaponry in your armors are much more robust and able to defend against the razor vine as you make your way into the thicket. So you do have advantage on these checks. I will say also, this does not just have to be a skill, like an ability skill. It can also be a tool proficiency. If there's a reasoning...
I don't think my Dulcimer will come in handy here.
Watch as Birdie pulls out his disguise kit. He's gonna do this check incognito.
Could I take 10 minutes to speak with an animal during these trying times?
22.
22, yes.
That
I
will
feel
bring
good
it to
about
Keytree. And Galatar's next.
So along what like Alexa was saying of like let's light it on fire, I initially was like maybe we can create bonfire, but could Keytree try to use her acrobatics to potentially sort of like weave through until she finds a spot that like sort of like this is where you should cut to get the knot out, essentially, like that kind of spot of like this would be the best spot for us to cut it, for us to just like pull it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll allow that. Acrobatics.
It's a 20.
Okay. Yeah, as Alexa takes some time to study these growths, she finds that there are clusters that you can just see that are where the root-like nodules, the source of these vines, are gathered, slightly sort of puckering up the earth around them, as though they grew very quickly through them. And you try to make your way over to those to apply either a blade or even your fiery cantrips and things to sort of help clear this path. That brings it to Galatar and then Brina.
Okay, so I know we can't use things we've used before, but because originally I was going to use nature, but since Alexa already used nature, do I need to use something else for
this check?
round?
Yes.
Okay. Could I use investigation to try and find a path for the less agile to maybe start making significant progress through this brush? Sure.
Yeah, you can use investigation.
Okay, that is a 23.
Yeah, as you kind of follow behind Alexa, she's pointing this out. You see Keytree making her way into the thicket, having a little trouble, and you realize with your investigation that it looks almost as though these were planted by creatures who had to walk along the normal terrain. So you're able to kind of puzzle out where they're going to be thicker and kind of give people some pointers. That'll bring it to Brina and then Kala.
Running awful low on things I can be good at there, Mr. Adkins. Especially,
We are 4 steps in, so if you need to use a skill that you have used before, you may.
yeah, but part of me's kind of like, maybe I do want to use perception. Maybe I do want to see what that +2 has in store.
I rolled a +3. Come on now. That's fine.
Look,
Or if
Let's
you have
stick it.
look with your
proficiency with,
special
like,
eyes.
Full send.
Proficiency with
look with the-
vehicles or armor's tools or anything that you could use. I mean, it's all good. It's whatever you want to do.
Sure.
Paint me a picture.
Okay, sure. If we're talking about proficiencies, she's got martial weapons and simple weapons proficiencies. Is there anywhere in her deductive reasoning beyond just like anything hit good, where she's like, what is the most effective weapon to take these viney vines out with? You know.
Could I try and, support this by Heatri's pointing out where Brina should use her strength to hacky hack?
I would say she's already got advantage on this.
Okay.
So make an attack roll for me
Okay.
Mm.
with whatever weapon
Okay.
you think would be most effective against Razorvine.
This sucks.
you have your choice at this point because you have time to equip or re-equip if you need to. So I'll let you choose your weapon.
Use the javelin.
It's one of those where I'm like,
Javelin.
honestly,
Javelin.
I don't even think like it would be like a long sword. Part of me's like a. It doesn't matter. I don't. Oh wait, yeah, I do have a hand axe. No, I don't. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do a javelin. I'm kidding. Let's. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be with advantage, but
Yeah, you can roll again if you like because it
30
is with advantage.
pretty damn good.
Okay.
Oh, it's good. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit.
You start cleaving through these with your greatsword. Obviously, an excellent choice because of its longer reach, keeping you a little bit isolated from the vines. And you watch as that cold aura just kind of slices into these things, and the water within the plants freezes, and the plants seem to break apart fairly easily with it. That'll take it to Kala, and then Birdie.
I would like to use either thieves' tools or sleight of hand to untangle the vines from the char siege engines, like where they've really burrowed up into places to get in there without
of hand.
damaging the equipment.
Yeah, trying to
Alright.
get in there without getting your hands all cut to shit, because your hands are your most valuable asset.
Mm.
Pretty, all right. And that'll bring it to Bertie.
Okay, what I'm thinking for Birdie's thing, is I would like for him to like, and I don't know exactly what the specifics of it would be, but I would like for him to maybe like rally a few other like casters or maybe an Order of Whispers person, maybe like a small little band of troops to like run a misdirection during this, to like kind of somewhere, I don't know if it would be to the back or somehow place a misdirection that like draws attention away from the people clearing these vines to give them like more
Like a
time and
distraction.
space to do their jobs. Yeah. And like put the focus away from them for a moment to like use that deceptive nature to run a little misdirection.
That is specifically calling out the other mages to execute this plan. That's brilliant. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like a
Perception
mass,
check.
like having a bunch of people do like a minor illusion at the same time to make it seem like there are troops moving in from some unexpected location kind of thing or something like that. Yeah.
Go ahead and make your deception check.
Hell yeah. 35, let's go.
All right, yeah. Several of the Order of Whispers, more advanced members, not the Lightbringers, but some of the slightly more junior lieutenants, are actually quite skilled in major image. So they can
Yeah,
create larger
that's what I was
illusions of
thinking.
sound, sparks and light effects, and all sorts of sounds. And you work with them to sort of deploy them around the canyon at various points. And anytime there's a hint of movement, these things activate. Some of the more senior ones actually have programmed illusion, which can activate on a trigger and perform specific actions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, about an hour continues, and you guys are able to cut through a swath of this thick, magically grown razor vine, about the size of a football field. You're able to cut about a 15-foot wide swath through it with the help of the siege engines and the other magisters. And yeah, moving into the 5th hour, the battle drags on. You continue to fight small skirmishes here and there, scouting parties, sometimes surprise ambushes from overhead. Eventually, you find yourselves closing in on the region where the canyons begin to merge. You see there are very narrow crevices that open up to either side, and taking a moment, some of the scouts are able to perceive the voices of other Pact members echoing down through either one. So the canyons are starting to kind of break apart and become one again. Your 5th challenge, and potentially your final, is to capture a strategic position. As you exit this canyon system, you need to sort of establish a beachhead on this side. You need to capture a high point overlooking the Blighted Grove, the Dragon's Stand. But as your armies emerge, there is fierce fighting. How are you going to help capture this strategic position? And this time we will go backwards, so we'll start with Bertie and then Kala.
Perhaps he could use his acrobatics to try and like nimbly and quickly climb to places and use that to cross difficult terrain that would give a bit of an edge, and like, you know, with some other those Order of Whispers folks, like, you know, climb to a location and again like make use of their magic in a way that kind of surrounds whatever position we're trying to capture.
Absolutely. In this region where the canyons begin to kind of crumble apart and rejoin and then eventually open onto this wide, shallow river, there's a whole region of tumbled boulders and stones, and navigating through them without slipping and hopping from one to the other, especially if you want to get to the higher boulders for better vantage. Absolutely use your acrobatics. And these are also made with advantage because you guys succeeded on the recruit allies step in Tarir.
Hell yes. Here we go. 22.
22. Okay. Yeah, these stones are very slick, and you watch as some of the Itzel scouts are hopping from one to the other, and you try to emulate their example, reaching strategic locations and better views to get an idea of what's going on around you. Brings it to Kala and then Brina.
Can I use athletics for this?
What does that look like? Paint me a picture.
I don't know.
This is the creative part of D&D.
We're trying to capture like
a strategic position. So like there's like a rise in the middle of this area where the rivers all sort of come out of these canyons, this confluence area. There's just like a strategic.
Maybe some other people
there.
are tired, they don't want to have to climb the hill, and I just carry them up there.
Carrying some of the wounded, some of the fallen, or the exhausted. You
Long
notice
fight.
that especially after coming through the razor vine thicket, there are many magisters who have now expended most of their spells, and they are flagging. But you see them falling into the water and having trouble, like struggling to get on their feet and being carried with the current a little. It's only about 3 or 4 feet deep, but it's deepest. But you're able to pluck them and try to haul them up the hill to this higher vantage. Yeah, go ahead and make a athletics check. 26.
We wouldn't be in trouble if they had ritual casted water breathing night before.
There you go. All right, that brings it to Brina.
Okay, sorry guys, this is incredibly boring. And perhaps it's the least useful, and I apologize for that. But could I roll perception with the intent being like scanning the skyline for what would be the most advantageous position?
Yeah, perceiving and identifying where this position's gonna be. As you emerge from these canyons, you're seeing all these big tumbled boulders. Looks like pieces of stone wall have just collapsed and kind of fallen over the centuries. Identifying where is the best place, or at least where is a place you can get to. Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, make a perception check. It's a little
Let's see.
difficult because as you guys are all emerging, these massive, like 10, 11 foot tall, big, beefy toads, the Nuhawk tribe, your allies, are dragging their big hammers behind them, some of them like lifting them up out of the water and splashing everywhere, and their feet go stomping past you, and it's just a crush of bodies. That makes it very difficult.
Damn it, guys, get out of the way. Alright, sorry guys.
No, it's alright.
Let's rock.
So that brings it to Galatar with Keetri next.
First
So
failure, it's all right.
could I use nature to work with some of the other mages to figure out where maybe on these rock faces I could target to cause like an avalanche that would disrupt and disorganize the enemy, like cause rocks to kind of cascade into their flanks and maybe provide some confusion and assistance to our allies as they emerge from this crevice into the battlefield?
What skill?
So I wanted to use nature to figure out maybe where like the weak points on the rock faces would be, like if I could target a specific section of rock that would then cause the avalanche.
Avalanches, or even like breaking off sections to form new little island boulders that you can get up on for your own advantage. Create your own advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, 14 plus
absolutely.
11 for 25.
Okay. It's a good thing you guys are rolling high. This was a high DC. That brings it to Keetri.
Yeah, could I try to use animal handling again, but this time for the creatures that are with the Pact? I'm assuming like horses or other mounts aren't going to be able to get up to wherever this like bulkhead is. So essentially like working with them to move them back to like a safer position. So that
Oh yeah, and while
they're not in the
Galatar
way
and
and-
the Arcanists are cracking off pieces of stone and massive sections of cliff and boulder go tumbling into the water, the pack animals are freaking out. So they definitely need some TLC. Sure, yeah. Animal handling.
this is still with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A 27.
Okay. You begin to do this work, and as things get more and more chaotic, these massive toads lunging forward and croaking out their battle cries, it begins to look like a hopeless cause until you feel this tiny hand rest on your elbow, and you turn to see a little humanoid about the size of Alexa with a big mushroom cap for a hat. And it just turns up to you and makes a sort of groaning, croaking sound. And you can see this little kind of yellowish mist exude from its pores, and in your mind you hear, "We are joy." And the animals around you calm down, and you are able to work with them and pull them to safety. You like that, Chan?
Honestly, it's just become my favorite part of this whole arc. There's just the subtle little "we are joys" just in the middle of like intense chaos.
All credit to the C team, because that was Jerry Holkins' mushroom people. All right, and that will bring us to Alexa to finish off the round.
Yes, sort of similar to Kala's. Could I use like persuasion or performance? They're both the same. To provide some morale support and boost everybody's just everything, because it's been 5 hours now and non-stop fighting. I
Yeah.
know I'm worn out, so I'd help everybody else.
Yeah, you try and bring your peppy attitude to bear, for
Yes.
sure.
24. Whew, thank God for that advantage.
Ooh. With that, you have achieved 5 successes.
Total victory.
Let's go.
Total victory with no failures. There were a couple of nail biters, but you guys pulled it out. Let's see. Do I have anything? Yes, you suffer no exhaustion. Everyone is tired. This has been a rough trip. There are several Pact members who are kind of needing to rest and recuperate, but at this point you have successfully navigated the dangers of these jungle canyons in about 5 hours of battle. You have routed the Mordrem army, which now, as you guys all kind of crest this rise around which the stream flows and then merges into a broad, flat, shallow but very swift stream, or river rather. You kind of crest this rise and find this nice sort of bald hill it's not got any real growth on it, but heavy boulders around the feet kind of keep the sediment there, and you're able to set up a momentary space of rest where you can see downriver. The forces of the Mordrem are fleeing towards the edge of a high cliff. About a mile ahead of you, you see 3 massive, twisted, blighting trees covered in the sickly, glowing pustules. Each of them is about 300 feet apart, and they're clinging to the edge of a high cliff, beyond which you see a sea of mist, broken only by a titanic, ancient tree stump that dwarfs even the tallest buildings in Divinity's Reach. Its jagged, broken upper edge towering hundreds of feet over the mists that surround it. Keetri, you recognize this sight from the vision that you once had. General Almora approaches you all.
This is it, commanders. We'll take a moment to set formation here, and then all hell's gonna break loose. We'll keep the Mordrem tied up so you can reach the lair without trouble. And hopefully, once you're there, Mordremoth will be so focused on you, it can't turn the whole damn jungle against us.
Takes a breath. Everybody kind of looks around. Do you guys need... I don't think you need to take a short rest. You haven't really expended any resources.
No, but can I do a couple quick spell things?
Absolutely.
Because I forgot to do it this morning. Can I go ahead and do Foresight on myself? And then can I do Gift of Alacrity on Brina and Galatar?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna be there in like 2 minutes. Yeah, like 3-4 minutes rather.
Yeah.
4
Or a
exact
D8 or a
minutes.
D10.
4 exact minutes. We have
believe is-
the FAA like time schedule on that.
I do believe, yes, we are under a tight window.
I will go ahead and cast Freedom of Movement on myself then.
Okay.
I have a potion of growth. I don't know where I got that, but I'm gonna give that to Brina if she wants it.
Oh, baby, do I want it? Let's rock and roll. Yes.
Okay. All right, you guys take a hot second to center yourselves, prepare what you have. I will say at this point, kind of consider what it is you have on your person. What are you carrying? Your backpacks and all the gear and equipment there? Are there things you're leaving behind? At this point, we could say you leave some, like with the Pact or at camp or whatever. I should have probably said that earlier, but it's all good.
So with our game plan, we're going to be there in roughly 4 minutes if everything goes according to plan. We're at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and cast Crown of Crito on myself as well at 7th level.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because that lasts for an hour, so that should be good.
Yeah, I will do see invisibility at double length for 2 hours.
What if we get there and nobody's home? They're just gone. They're exactly 2
Well,
hours
mate.
away.
We missed the dragon. Come back
Oh,
tomorrow.
I said he would be here.
They told me the dragon would be here, but I got the directions wrong.
We just keep ringing the doorbell and nobody answers.
Talk
Yeah.
about all the
Is the
white
other big
trees.
tree?
You took the wrong turn.
I just
Left or
want to
right.
talk to you about extending your car warranty.
What is a car? Only no drag. Okay, I'm ready to fight.
All right.
I'd like to activate my cloak.
Hmm.
It's the wings of flying. It lasts for an hour.
Okay.
Can I hand Brina my potion of heroism?
Damn, guys.
Ooh. Brina's gonna be double fisting. Can Galatar go take a bathroom break? You never want to shit yourself in the middle of battle. Like, that's fighting a dragon. It's always good to just get it out of you beforehand.
Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah.
I'll
Might
go
have a
ahead
little
and
fun here in a minute.
I'll go ahead and take the potion of heroism.
Okay.
That's sexy. Thank you so much, Petrie.
Oh, also, can I grab a rock from here as well?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place for sure.
Perfect. You know, I was blasting some apart earlier. It was secretly just to grab some for the teleport spell. Only pretended to help my comrades.
Self-serving actions always.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
All right.
Such a
You
wizard
guys
move.
ready?
No.
Let's fucking rock,
Alright.
baby.
So the Kitri, are you using Windwalk from your necklace of prayer beads? All right. You take a moment, gather yourselves, straighten out your inventory, brace yourselves, and Kitri casts this spell, and you suddenly feel yourselves very light, very airy. It's a strange sensation, almost that as you breathe in and out, it's not just going through your nose and your mouth into your lungs, but passing through you entirely. You begin to concentrate on that effect and transform your physicality into a medium-sized cloud of mist. As you rise into the sky, you're treated to a bird's eye view of this battle, and you can see that danger is coming. This is going to be a tough fight for them. The Mordrem have fled, but they are now gathered in great numbers in front of these blighting trees. As you begin to transform, you hear Almora turn to her soldiers, and she says, so she climbs to the top of a small boulder that kind of tumbled to the top of this rise at some point in the past centuries. She gets a good vantage over her people and raises up a hand and says,
This isn't infiltration or scouting anymore. This is open war. The time for stealth has passed. Now is the time for battle. Let's get loud.
and she turns back towards the Mordrem, raises her sword in the air, and cries, "For Tyria!" And there's this echo of that chant from all across the front rows of the Pact forces, and the thunder of feet as she begins to charge out 60 feet ahead of everyone else, and the rest of the pack now struggling to keep up behind her as her claws dig into the watery stone beneath her. As you all begin to blast your way forward with the supernatural speed of this spell, you can see with your otherworldly senses Almora wearing a gleeful, saber-fanged grin, and the soldiers behind her, notably those of the Vigil, wearing her colors. Similarly, wear fell expressions as the battle joy takes hold of them.
This is General Almora's epic cinematic moment. You know, when you get those like high above shots of that one guy riding out.
Absolutely. King Theoden. Oh, this is it. So you make your way over these trees, and you keep yourself pretty high distance above, and you can see these trees are massive. They're not the size of the Pale Mother, who's like a skyscraper, but they are truly titanic trees. All kind of knotted and gnarled, bare of any leaves, so it's easy to see down through the clustered, sharp, blackened, twiggy branches. You notice that each of them has a wide kind of cavernous opening between two roots, facing the general direction of the Pact forces as they charge forward, the Mordrem army charging out to meet them in the river. And it catches your eye that stomping its way out of the central tree is something that looks very much like a moss heart that Kitri transforms into as one of the blessings that she has received. But this is a blackened, rotted, corrupted version of what a moss heart could be. And then you see another and another, one of them appearing out from each tree with a bellow, long, pronged, root-like growths, mimicking horns extruding from their heads. And they bellow a war cry as even more Mordrem sort of pour out of the trees, and you hear as these pustules pop and burst, dropping more Mordrem onto the ground that also join the charge. As you zoom over the trees, you see the 200 feet plunge from the cliff's edge down into the mist beyond your point of vision. You angle downwards and begin your descent, eventually merging with the mist so that it's even hard to see one another. You get the sense as you travel through this mist, there are hills and valleys completely obscured by the fog. There are trees, but you begin to notice shadows on your left and then on your right as these massive towering roots first seemed like hills are actually branching roots from this ancient tree that now stands before you. And because of your magical speed, it only takes about 2 minutes to make this traversal. As you draw nearer to the tree, its massive size becomes even more apparent. Huge gnarled roots kind of poke up here and there through the mist like small islands surrounded by a sea of milky fog. Descending, you see the land around the stump kind of rises up to meet it. And just ahead of you, a narrow, kind of winding valley rising from the mists, leading to a joint in the massive roots. The mist kind of thins out as you approach the mouth of this valley, and you can see now the impenetrable bark of this great tree rising up like a cliff, covered in thick, thorny vines. And at the joint of these two roots, about 400 yards ahead of you, two large, cave-like openings, partly obscured by hanging, creeping greenery. One kind of square in the middle, about 20 feet off the ground. Most of it kind of obscured by dangling creepers and vines. The other, 40 feet high and slightly to the left. Both of them dark, but for an eerie glow radiating from within the depths. Directly before you, between you and this tree wall, there is a dense cluster of normal trees and thick shrubs kind of choking the area between, but you do see there is room to maneuver around them. And hiding behind those trees would perhaps be a place to achieve some sort of cover as you take the minute to transform back.
Cloud mode, disengage.
Not cloud saving anymore now.
I'm ready to fuck shit up. Let's go.
Are you ready to fuck up a dragon?
All right. So, would you land beyond these trees to transform, or do you have a different strategy in mind? Don't let me dictate what you do.
Being behind the trees sounds fine.
Yeah, I like having a little cover to change my clothes.
You, Birdie? Are you sure?
Birdie's out there. It's all hanging loose. What they don't tell you is your clothes don't come with you.
Bam.
So, as you descend, I will say you also notice you got this higher, off to the left, slightly smaller cave opening, also kind of partially covered with thick leafy vines. You've got the big opening about 20 feet off the ground directly in front, a little bit wider. You notice that off to the right, about ground level, there is what looks like a steep triangular crevasse kind of carved into this tree, and you can just see striations on the ground in the dark shadow of that awning, what look like cut steps that lead up into the darkness.
Ooh. So we've got we see like 3 different entrances here.
3 different entrances.
Ooh.
And after a minute, you once again regain your solid forms. Trollskull 6, how would you like to proceed?
Can we tell which of those 3 entrances is most used or least used?
You're pretty far away from there right now. You'd have
Okay.
to get closer.
Have to giddy up.
Those carved steps might be our best. If it's
Yeah,
like
I
an
feel like
intentional walkway.
The higher ones probably, because the ones that are up higher are not like dragon sized, you would say.
The largest opening is the one that's 20 feet up.
Oh.
And it's probably 20 feet wide, maybe 12, 13 feet high.
Okay.
It's a fairly sizable opening. And both of the higher ones, like they're partially obscured by like ivy and creeping vines that run all the way down to the ground.
Hmm.
And then what is the one at ground level? Like, it's smaller?
Yeah, it's think of like a squirrel hole in a tree. It's
Okay.
kind of a steep triangle, and it kind of cuts into the tree, and you can just see like they're not like carved stairs, but it certainly looks like a sort of tiered, maybe worn by footprints,
Right.
steps that go up into the darkness and very quickly fade from view.
Hmm.
And I would say on the ground, once you've transformed, you can no longer see the lower entrance because it is obscured by all the trees and brush before you.
So which one do we want to go through? What do your guts tell you?
I say the main path.
Yeah,
The one that's got
Just those.
stairs.
stairs.
Walk
Yeah.
in
It's
the
gonna
front
exhaust
door?
me.
I gotta say,
Why
the
not?
idea of walking into the front door of a dragon to kick its ass is pretty much like the fairy tales. That would be pretty cool.
I like the statement. It's pretty boss bitch energy, so that's
You really could write something epic about it too.
Let's
Yeah.
kick it down, motherfuckers. Woohoo!
What were you going to say, Kitri? Seemed like maybe you were hesitant about that plan though. Like maybe there was.
Oh no, I was gonna say the middle one.
Kick
Okay.
it down!
Cool. So are we set? Down the middle we go.
We're just like bouncing on the balls of our feet. 5 hours of
Make for
adrenaline.
You're making for the middle entrance?
Did someone give Brina
So-
coffee?
It's the potion
No,
of
just
heroism.
a spell and some potions. She was drinking like 2 at
Potion of
once
heroin.
earlier. It looked like I don't know. It was a lot. I feel very nervous.
I know. I'm not prepared enough.
We're supposed to win, right?
yeah. We're only like a little roided out and like.
We've only had 2 hours of sleep in the past 7
I'm just
days.
waiting for like Traherne to appear in the middle of the fight as an evil monstrosity from
God, I
behind
forgot about
us
that
that just
bitch.
like.
Oh, I
wipes
haven't
us
forgot
out.
about him.
I'm so scared.
I'm nervous.
I wish you guys hadn't have said anything, because again, I'm dumb, and once the reveal hit, I would be like, whoa! Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm terrified. The last like 4 times Galtar tried to scry on him, it didn't work at all. Which
It's gonna be like level
Very
or
not
third
good.
round. He's all of a sudden some necrotic shit's gonna come out of the ground. It's gonna be Traherne.
All right, guys, one shot the dragon. Everybody hit a nat 20 and we'll all be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Crits all night long.
So as you begin to make your way toward this central entrance, it's about 20 feet up, but the vines that kind of mostly cover it extend all the way to the ground. They are thorny, but it does look like you could, between them and the sort of knotted bark of the tree, kind of make your way up if you want to climb. But there is a lot of dense tree and brush between you and it. Are you running as fast as you can to get there? Are you trying to slink in unperceived? Or are you just kind of like walking through at a normal pace?
What do you think? Sneak in and then like once we're in the front door facing the dragon, kick it down, or do we just like?
We were kind of
That's right.
sneaking in the front door, so it feels a little.
Let's just
yeah, if
go.
we're sneaking
Yeah.
in, we want to sneak in. I say just normal pace. I don't want to
Yeah.
get like torn to shit by the.
I don't want to be winded.
Horns
running
Yeah,
and
my
through
only-
stuff,
stairs.
Yeah.
Concern would be like the Mordremoth had probably just been fleeing from here. We probably don't want to like fight outside of the tree where the dragon is, because then we could get like ambushed by the dragon and he would be coming through the front door, not us going to the front door, you know.
I'd love to bring his ass outside.
I wouldn't.
don't
When
think
things
he'd
fly,
take
we
that.
do not do well.
Oh,
Flying is not good for us.
Now that
Yeah,
you gave me the
Brina, don't
boots.
forget you have flying shoes on. You
That's
tend to
what I'm
forget that.
saying. Now that I got the boots, I ain't frightened of the dragon. Where are you gonna go? This guy? Anyway.
I know we all agreed not to give Brina any more coffee, but I did that this morning because I wanted to.
Like, good.
it's all of our benefit, I guess.
I say just normal.
That
pace.
would explain a lot. Earlier, I kept seeing her like pick up people from the alliance that did not want to be picked up. She just kept like grabbing them, carrying them on one spot, sitting them down, then grabbing somebody else.
I don't
Going
respond
too
to
slow.
rules well or authority.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? How are you moving?
Normal pace. I think.
Normally.
Apparently, normal pace right through the front door.
Okay.
Don't say roll stop.
Proceeding stealthy, so you don't need to.
Perfect.
As you start moving through the bush, you have to bend a lot of the branches out of your way, kind of push your way through some of this dense foliage. You get closer and closer, and you can see like these vines that are covering this most of the side of this tree. They kind of creep up almost out of your view into the fog above. Things become a little clearer, and you are able to see bits of this flickering, kind of pulsing greenish light coming from both of those upper entrances. You all hear a faint rustle from off to the left. Kala, Bertie, Alexa, and Kitri hear 2 or 3 more distinct rustling sounds from up ahead. The sounds of creatures moving through the brush unseen, concealed by other leaves, but trying to move stealthy and not succeeding. As you continue your way forward,
I think we have some of those plant kitty things.
Yeah, we got
What are you
visitors.
talking about? Did you hear something?
A
Yeah,
few
I-
some things.
what would your marching order be?
Galtar would probably be second. Or if we're going by 2, then whoever next to whoever else wants to be up front.
This is so dense, you kind of have to go single file.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'll go
Keitra
first or
will,
second.
Keitra will go up front.
I think
Like,
yeah,
take
Brina
point?
would be
Yeah, this is her dragon battle.
period.
Okay, I'll go right behind Kitri then.
I'll be behind Galatar.
This is her big bad backstory villain.
It's weird that you're
Captain
asking for
and make
marching
a-
order when we're not going to fight anything, though.
So Kitri, Galatar, Brina.
Mhm.
I'd like to be last.
Okay.
Birdie would like to be in front of Kala.
Okay. And
Word.
Alexa in front of
In
Birdie?
front of Birdie, yeah. But I can
Gotcha.
still see the columns behind us at least.
Okay.
Second last is ideal for Birdie. He wouldn't get picked off if he's the last person, you know. He deals with that threat, but aside from that, furthest from the combat.
Birdie says, "Oh no, after you."
I would. Oh, well, I guess I ought to pull you guys over to the battle map.
Oh, don't do that.
No.
Here we go.
Why
As
does it
the
say
sound
wait?
of snarling and snapping fangs reach your ears, there's a flurry of motion. I need you all to roll initiative.
Ooh.
Some Mordrem Thornwolves burst from the foliage
Not the
to
fucking
strike.
Paige, don't forget to add your D8.
D8, shorty. And
I'm
I
gonna try
needed
something
it.
here. We may have to modulate some sound, but I'm gonna try using VLC to play some battle music.
I rolled a nat 1.
Kinda did.
Fuck me.
It's
It's
because
the
you went
last time I'm
first.
using Foundry. Now everyone's gonna have to get past me.
I am concerned that I can only see you and Brina.
Yeah, no, we're in a bit of a
I don't even know where Alexa and the rest of them are.
I see
bit of a
Brina.
squeeze.
Yeah, I can't
It's
see
me.
past Brina, so I guess Brina's just so muscular that I can't see around her.
It's tough business, baby.
She's a lot to take in sometimes.
Oh, she's just her beauty so captivating.
Only if you're lucky. Hey,
Okay.
Ready to rock.
Okay, pretty split on the initiatives.
Hilarious
Suck
split
it.
on
3 above 20.
Yeah, there's certainly a cutoff here in terms of.
There's
Nearly
3
reverse
distinct
order.
initiative groups.
There are 3 very distinct initiative groups.
So we begin round 1 with Kala.
Oh, perfect.
Birdie's on deck.
How tall are these trees?
So the really pale ones are about like 5 or 6 feet tall. The darker green ones are actually like tall trees, 20, 30 feet high.
Okay, I'd like to fly straight up,
Okay.
and on the way up, looking for any of these enemies that are making noise.
Okay. What's your flight movement?
60 feet. So, like, if I have to go all the way up 60 feet to see any, I will, but, like,
Okay.
I don't
Well,
need to
I'll
go that
put you
high.
at 30. I can't change your field of vision,
okay.
but there's one here that you can see. It's coming at you. Actually,
Okay,
hang
I'll
on.
shoot that
I
one.
can fucking fix this. Just delete me some walls. There. Is that better? You can see him now?
No, I still don't see it.
Really?
Right.
It's weird,
Right
I
here?
do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Yeah, I can see that guy.
green boy? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's right there.
Can I see any more, or just that one?
From that height, yes. You see there's one here to your north.
Okay, I'll shoot the southern one first, and then the northern one.
Okay.
19.
Yeah, 19 will hit.
All right, 44 damage.
Why is
Shit,
it
man.
advantage?
Oh no, it'll only be 10.
Oh.
Yeah, because nobody's.
Nobody's engaged yet. And a 21 will also hit.
Well, actually, when I hit that first one, then it's advantage on him till the end of the round.
Is it for other people or for you?
I believe it's for everyone.
Check that feature.
'Cause I always thought it was weird that it went to the start of my next turn.
Give yourself advantage to get sneak attack.
Like, yeah, very.
That would be a pretty cool setup.
That would be.
Yeah, easier for you and others to strike.
Okay.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Alright.
21 will hit.
Now smoke it.
38.
Yeah, so
Not
10
bad.
damage and then 38.
Holy shit.
You can see Kala just boom up into the air, and you hear
Damn.
Yeah.
twang, twang, and he just falls down dead.
Shit.
That'll bring it to Birdie.
Birdie's gonna back up here a little bit. Oh, the game is paused for me. It might just be. Okay. I'm gonna back up 5. Can see even less now. Great.
Mistakes.
5. 10. Oh, there's another. Oh god. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do 5, 10. I'm gonna pull out my Inquest Persuader and take a shot at it. At that one I can see.
Okay.
27. That's
That will
cool.
work.
For 9 points of damage. And then I will run back the other way. 5, 10, 15, and I'll stay right there for the moment.
Okay, yeah, and as you kind of flee into that corner to take some cover, you find the dead body of one of these things lying with 2 arrows stuck in it.
Yeah, and I'll use my bonus action to pump another round into the Inquest Persuader. And that's my turn.
Right, the one to the north. Having taken that shot.
Well, no, I ran away, so it can go somewhere else.
You can't catch me.
It is definitely going to chase you.
Chase me? What?
Oh, yeah.
This is like, I imagine this is like how Birdie's interactions with most like dogs and animals happen. It's like
Down,
they
kitty.
tend to chase him. He's, down. What?
All right. Will an 18 hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take 15 piercing damage as these bony jaws
Ow.
clamp down on you, and as it
That's
worries
hysterical.
you, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
That's gonna be funny.
That is honestly so rude.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's really
18.
good.
You are able to keep your footing,
Down.
Uh,
Down, I
Well
said.
done.
and as it releases you, frustrated that it couldn't knock you down, it tries to snap again, but with a 12, it will not hit.
Shit, fuck. I'm gonna kill this dog.
Kill this dog.
Somebody ought to put you down a long time ago.
Jesus Christ.
Brings it to Galatar.
I think the only wolf I could see just darted after Birdie. So I'm gonna move towards it as I start twirling my blades into my blade song, and then oh my god, it's freaking
Yeah, it's chaos. You
20.
burst through these thick leaves and start looking around, and you hear it to your right. You go around, and it's even further than you thought.
Yeah, well, it's also making me wonder: was like this a path I could have taken here, or no? I don't.
Potentially,
Anyway,
it's
20
hard because you can't
20
like all
feet
the
of movement
branches
later.
like intersect. Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 swings at it. The first one I'm gonna light up with a little green flame blade.
Okay.
Okay. So it'd be a 12 plus. I think it's plus 13 to hit. Yeah, so 25 to hit.
Definitely hits.
All right. And that will be 13 points of slashing damage. And an additional
13.
13 points of slashing damage and an additional 19 points of fire damage.
Love those
19.
tunes.
Yeah.
Love
That's
these
enough. That
tunes.
does it.
And then did I hear any other wolves? Like,
Yes. You heard one generally from your like to the west of you. That was the one that you and Brina heard.
gotcha. I'm gonna try and use my movement to go over this guy. And then can I try and go through this little crevice here?
Yeah, you could end up here.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
would
as you
that,
like push your way through the brush.
I think that's my full 40 feet of movement. Okay, to just go around a tree. Great. Cool. Well, that's all for me, folks.
Yeah, tricky terrain. It is very dense. Here at the heart of Mordremoth's
I
territory.
can't see shit. Okay, cool.
Makes me wonder what the battle's gonna be like with the dragon.
It's actually just Mordremoth above firing down onto us.
Right. With no line of sight.
One of them dashes forward and is going to try to bite Keytree? Yeah, that is Keytree. 10 to hit does not hit. 22 will hit.
Dang.
For
Yes, it will.
9 piercing damage. And I need you to make a strength saving throw, or else be knocked prone.
A 16?
You manage to maintain your footing.
Yeah.
And bursting out of the grove to your south, another one comes up to flank you. It is going to attempt to do a bite. 23 will hit. So you take 11 piercing damage. And I need you to make another strength saving throw, please.
Ah!
As it grips on you, it's trying to each of them are trying to pull you away.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a
this
2.
Is this
Go
the first one or
prone.
the second one?
That's the second one.
Oh, I can't see.
Yeah, the trees are blocking your vision. It's crazy.
Jesus
So dense. So you get knocked prone. And another 23 will hit, but it's only 5 piercing damage.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Can't
Galatar,
get
you
much
see one
worse.
of these snapping muzzles kind of lunge outward, those petal-like leaves pulling back as the skull-like wolf head grabs onto Kitri and starts grabbing her leg and pulling her towards the tree. That brings it to Alexa. Yeah, I found it just for you.
Brina actually rolled a
It's
15.
so good.
So after she gets done jamming out, she gets to go first.
Oh, for real? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did roll a 15.
Gift of alacrity.
Yep,
Yeah.
my bad.
Oh, you're fine.
Updates.
Yeah, I caught it. So it didn't matter till now.
I'm glad you did. I can't read or
Alright.
count.
That's fine.
Brina.
I
Okay.
want you to go first to get out of the way, anyways.
Yeah, no, for real. We got this. I'm gonna run. I am in a tree, so let's not do that. You can pass through an ally's space, but you just can't land there, and it's difficult terrain. I'm trying to do the math.
Correct.
Okay.
Passing through the tree is also difficult terrain. You're just like breaking the branches and pushing through it.
10, 20, 30. I'm gonna end up on the other side of this dog.
Yeah. You see it like kind of tugging and making that jerking motion dogs do as it's trying to pull Kitri into the brush.
I'm gonna rage.
As the battle cries of your ancestors ring in your ears.
That dog, put Kitri down! And I'm gonna hit him with the flame tongue longsword.
Okay.
Let's reckless attack. I can't imagine Kitri being prone counts as advantage.
Technically, yes, you have advantage. because
Okay.
Kitri is engaged.
I like the
27 will
songs.
hit, yeah. 25, damn, that's a lot.
I also have oh, never mind. That's later. Okay. I have bless because of potion of heroism, but we'll cross that bridge in a minute.
23 will also hit. You guys hear the first blade dig in and this hissing growl from this wolf creature. Is it 22?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then another and just a crunch, and that creature goes silent. Keitra, you are released, though you are still prone.
This song is like medicine to me. Okay, that's my turn.
Alright, it brings it to Alexa.
All right, let's stumble around in the woods here for a minute. You know, that's enough stumbling. We will do the double. We'll do a quickened firebolt and a regular firebolt. Firebolts
Okay.
at that.
Yeah, as Galatar is like currently pushing branches away from his face, with your height, you're able to see under them, and you are able to see this wolf.
19 into 26.
Both of those will hit.
That 19 was awful. It's only 29 fire damage. And then I will actually go ahead and take another step just to get kind of out of the way.
Okay.
And I will end my
Yeah.
turn there.
So Galatar, as you're pushing this branch aside, the leaves themselves sizzle as a firebolt passes through. It slams into the face of this wolf creature that begins to kind of skitter and back away with a yelp. And that brings it to Kitri's turn. As you see this creature smashed with a bolt of fire, and it starts to freak out and try to backpedal.
Okay, can I it's half my movement to stand up
Mm-hmm.
from prone. Okay, and then as a bonus action, I can cast Shillelagh.
Yep.
And then as my action, I'd like to try and thwomp it with my staff.
Absolutely. Got an AC of 14.
25.
Yeah, roll your damage.
And that's 8 damage.
8 is exactly what you needed.
Oh, hell
As
yeah!
it's trying to like back its way up and its claws digging into the loam to backpedal, you just crack. You guys hear the echo amongst the trees as this creature's got its skull cracked. Those little petals just sort of like curl over, almost like spider legs curling up to cover its face. Do you guys see the error messages from Foundry right now? The little red. Okay. Anytime I end combat, it's just like, ugh, it's crazy. This doesn't exist anymore, but it doesn't mean anything. Okay. With that, it's back to a bit more sedate tone. You guys catching your breath. Kitri, finally on your feet, holding your now enchanted, magically imbued staff. Everything goes quiet once again. There's just not even wind here. There's no birds, no insect sounds, no frogs. It's eerily quiet and still here. You continue towards the central opening.
Myself with a level 1 cure wounds. Just to top off the tank.
You want to push it or anything, Kitri? It looks like you took a few bites.
Oh, yeah, I'll give myself then a first level cure wounds as well.
Yeah, I'll take
I
a stab
will
if it's
land and
20
walk
seconds
with
left.
everyone else.
Okay. I
Oh,
am
glad
gonna
you would grace
take
us, Kala.
away some of these walls so you guys can actually see what you're walking toward.
No, I think it's more fitting that we don't.
Yeah, mystery is great.
Honestly, that map was very frustrating in the most beautiful way.
Yeah. It was fun to think it through. Like, it would really be difficult to do this. But it also gives you
Actually
guys
quite
great
like
cover.
it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
alright, so you see before you this wall of tangled thorny vines, and about 20 feet up there is a ledge.
Oh no.
And was that ledge where we were trying to go? Or we were trying to go for where the steps
Yes.
were, right?
Oh, well, you guys said the middle. So this is the central ledge about 20 feet off the ground. The
Oh.
stairs are now to the north of you. They were on the
Oh,
right,
there they are.
at ground level.
Wait, was that where we were trying to go? The stairs or just to the one in the middle?
The stairs.
Yeah,
I said
'cause
stairs.
I think we thought the stairs were the front door. I might have misunderstood. I thought it was like the
Ah,
stairs
okay.
and then the ledges were on either side.
I had a really shitty drawing in Microsoft Paint, but I didn't share it because it's awful. So you guys want to take the stairs up?
Yeah. The
Okay.
nice convenient steps that were so
Tell you
carefully
what,
made for.
I can put you guys all in the same space. You guys can yourselves around.
But you said both ledges had like green glows emanating.
Yes, both of them are kind of dark within, but there's like an eerie green glow kind of pulsing from inside.
That's cool.
There's Birdie. Alright, so you guys should all be where you are now.
Do we want to keep this same formation as we enter into the Dragon's Lair? Do we want to space out a little bit in case he tries to, like, fire his breath at us or anything?
Or, he's able to use the plants and vines to pull us apart from each other, and then it doesn't matter if we're together. I
Yeah,
think
it's
we
very
should just
hard to
stick
hitch.
together, at least at this point.
Okay.
Okay. So as you guys approach this entrance, you see that there are indeed worn steps, not really carved, but worn by multiple feet, constantly kind of treading up and down. It's
Ooh.
narrow, just 5-foot passage, so you have to pass single file. Brina's the first one in. What's your marching order?
No, it's Brina first.
No, I didn't mean to be.
I'll go second.
She just charged right in.
We are playing with live ammo.
Oh,
Pause the game for the moment.
I just
I'll go
walked
after
over
Galatar.
there. I kind of want Kitri in the front again. That was cool.
I'll go in the rear again.
Nice. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll go right in front
The
of
other
Kala.
game, we're going.
Happens.
Oh.
You're distracted. You just killed some things.
There's Keytree.
I'm very concerned that Ryan said these steps were worn by frequent travel.
So, Brina, Galatar, Keytree, Alexa, Birdie, Kala.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was.
So as you as you enter the stairs, immediately they rise very steeply. They curve around to the left, almost doubling back, and then they bend to the right, very snake-like in its passage. And Brina, you notice in the glow of your flaming longsword that it opens out into about a 20 by 20 sort of circular, vaguely circular passage. You can see that there is clearly an opening on the far side. And this pulsing, glowing green light is clearly visible, as well as the sound of thick, bubbling fluid.
Love bubbling fluid.
I mean, if it's like a sulfur bath or something, I could really use a relaxing spray.
I don't think it's a mud bath, Alexa.
Could always hope.
We can always hope.
Just needs like to detox.
Oh, we're gonna detox him.
The game is paused for
Yep.
me, so I'm
Yep,
just kind
it's
of
paused for me. Hang on just a sec.
strategizing mentally. Obviously. Do you guys
Pause
want
because
to
you
go?
almost stepped on a landmine.
Hey man, do you guys want to go in the bubbling, boiling sulfur pit?
It's probably refreshing and relaxing. It's probably like a little spa.
We don't have to hold our breath at least.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
that
go
would
like this and pass
be
by
good.
it.
Okay.
What was that?
Apparently I broke something at some point. I don't know
Oh.
when, but
Ryan.
now it's working.
Is it our characters?
No.
Is it our hearts?
Our hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary. No, what's up?
Sabrina. Okay, I'm unpausing the game. As you guys kind of move into this tunnel, Brina, you notice that it sort of branches out, but then just beyond there is this it sort of narrows again, and it looks like the path bends around to the left out of sight, and then there's this dull greenish glow.
Talking about over here.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
There's a greenish glow coming from here, and you can see beyond that, kind of illuminated by the glow, is this wall of tangled vines inside the tree, kind of creeping up the side of a ledge.
Ew. Don't make us go in there.
Who's at the front? Why aren't we moving?
We do have a little traffic jam, yeah.
Karina just looks back and says, "It's a pit. It's bubbling." She's just going 5 feet at a time.
Taking your way slowly. Are you trying to go stealthily?
I mean, probably not loud.
Make a stealth check.
Awesome. So
Mm.
maybe a little loud.
So you reach the far side of this chamber,
Mm.
and you can see that the path you're on bends around to the left out of sight, and there is a gap between the part of the tree you're currently standing on and a small ledge separated by what looks sounds rather. You can't really see the bottom of it, but you can see this glow coming up from beneath. Bits of steam, and there's this acrid sort of tang on the air. But you see this wall on the far side is just covered with thick, thorny vines. And you're puzzling that out, and you hear your allies coming up behind you. And for a moment, it's kind of surreal. You start hearing almost like surround sound. It's like a scratching. As you turn to look to see who's coming behind and who's next, the walls of this chamber come alive.
Sucks.
It was hard to tell because it's really dark, but in the light of your flames, there is a thin coating of cobweb on either side. As you look around, up on the ceiling, it's just strewn with thick spider webs. Kitri, as you kind of round that corner and look into the room, you see Brina turning around holding her sword up as little web sacks on the walls crack and split, and swarms of spiders begin to burst forward and crawl across the ground, swarming towards Brina. I would like each of you to roll initiative, please.
Brina lets out a very uninspiring yelp.
And add your d8 to your... Okay, yeah, 4, 13, 8, 23. Galtar is 26.
I'm pretty sure I'm last.
What, call a roll?
9.
Damn,
Let it
that's
take
9.2, higher than me.
Oh man.
9.2. Thank you. That puts everybody in initiative. Let's see. Right. I would say Galatar. Brina, I will say that just in the instant that all this happens, you have a moment to exclaim something if you so choose. But you see these sacks kind of crack and pop, and then just swarms of hundreds of little spiders, about the size of a tarantula, just start skittering down the walls and swarming towards you like a tide of little furry legs.
I'll say like Birdie in the back, like not knowing what the holdup is, like, oh, it's probably like a little spider or something.
I think in like the highest pitched voice you ever heard Brina's voice go, she's just like, spiders!
It's like, oh, I fucking knew it.
They're probably trying to talk to it.
That brings us to Galatar at the top of the round, and Brina,
Okay.
you're on deck.
So I had not moved forward because I was responding to a work email. So if I go there, do I see any spiders? I don't actually see any on the map,
You
but like,
see, like, the walls are covered with spiders. There are, technically there are 5 separate swarms, each of them filling like a 5-foot space. And
So-
it's just like the whole wall, yeah.
if one was to chuck a fireball into this space,
It
how
would fill
big
the whole space?
it would hit Brina? I guess would be in
Fireball is
space
a
too.
20-foot diameter?
20-foot radius.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, radius.
Yeah.
So 20
Would I be able to-
feet.
How big? Like how high is the room?
The room itself is only about 10 feet high. Well, about 15.
Okay, but it's a 20-foot diameter centered on a point of my choosing,
Mhm.
or 20-foot radius centered on a point of my choosing. If I move that
All the way to the top.
over like up to here, or yeah, up to the top, would I be able to get that whole side of the wall where the spiders are without hitting Brina?
I would
That's
say
real
to
kind of you.
center it.
Yeah, it would be there.
That I was. Well, let me use an actual intersection. 'Cause
hits
that's about as
Brina.
far as it would go. Yes, you'd be able to hit 2 of them without hitting Brina.
Oh, so I'd only hit 2 of the swarms.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a shitload of spiders, so yeah, you'd be able to burn up that whole side of the wall.
All right. I'm going to take one of my beads from that necklace of fireballs, so that I can save a spell slot. And I'm gonna chuck it at the spiders. I believe it's only a DC 15 dexterity save for them, because it is from the thing instead of from me.
They both fail.
Perfect. So they take, is it
8d6?
8d6? Yeah.
Damn.
Well, all my d6s here.
Definitely thought those spiders would be a little more dexterous.
That's what I was a
Not so
little worried
much.
about.
They're tiny little spiders.
8 legs, can't use one of them.
They're all left of.
18, 20, 23, 29 points of damage.
Damn, it's a good roll.
29 will do it.
2 packs of crispy critters.
1, 1, 2 6s.
Yeah, as Brina's your turn with your flaming sword looking at all of this, there's a sudden explosion of force, and half the room is just singed.
And then, because I already have it up, and I don't know what these I don't know how dangerous spiders are. When I see these spiders, as somebody who studies nature, they look, poisonous, dangerous, anything like that. Like, would I have ever seen these spiders before? Have any concept of how dangerous they are?
I mean, they're like tarantulas.
Like 1 to 10 health.
Like they can bite you, and the bite will hurt, and there's a lot of them.
Well, Brina seemed
they're not like
Just-
black widows or anything.
So,
They're
I
not-
just
they're not
love
gonna
the
kill you
idea
with
of it's
one
like,
hit.
oh no, spiders, and then Galtor's like, it's a black widow, and everybody's just like runs, like dead straight away.
What kind?
Can't handle that, man.
Well, in that case, since Brina's so scared, I'm gonna go ahead and use my bonus action to fire off one of my little bolts of light that I've got circling my head at one of the swarms of spiders that I can see.
I forgot you had that. So there's.
You have lights circling your head.
I do.
Crown
it's
of
my
Stars
crown
spell?
Little swords, aren't
except
they?
for me, it's Crown of Kryda. Yeah, they're little swords.
That's kind of cute.
But it does 4d12 if it hits, and I get to roll with advantage because of foresight. So the first one is a 22 to hit. Yeah, 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And it's 4d12 radiant damage. So let me grab 4 of these boys.
If this doesn't kill the swarm, you guys might
10,
wanna run
10,
away.
7, and 2. So that's another 29 points of damage.
29. Okay, yeah, that'll do it.
And she's like, if this doesn't kill the swarm, you all should run away. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So you singe one. There's this explosion of force that just rocks the tree. You guys all feel the explosion, even if you can't see it. There's a sudden burst of heat and air that kind of whooshes his way out of that tunnel. And then Brina, you watch as you're kind of shielding and recovering from that. This streak of light goes by, almost blinding you, and it smashes into the wall. And you hear a bunch of little skittering as those spiders are also taken care of.
Okay, last question. It's not been a minute since our last combat. It's probably been 10 or 12, 18 seconds, 3 or 4 rounds worth to go from
I
down
would
there.
say
to up
since
here.
the last combat to kind of collect yourselves, move up here through all that brush, and then carefully go through here. It's probably been more than a minute. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, never mind. I'm good.
Okay.
That's cool.
That brings it to Brina.
Brina's just gonna ew, light up the flame blade and swing it back around
All right.
at this crew.
Absolutely.
And she'll reckless attack. Fuck them bugs.
Yeah. 27 definitely hits.
15.
Yeah, you rake a swath through them. You watch a bunch of them crisp and then fall off the wall as the others swarm around the blade and make their way down to the floor towards you.
She'll stamp her foot and stab at him. 29.
Absolutely, yeah, that hits too.
30.
Sure.
14.
Yeah, the last couple, you just a couple of quick slashes on the floor, and you're able to disperse those that would survive, go skittering back up the walls and to disappear.
Ew. Yeah, that'll be your turn.
Okay. Bertie. And Keetry's on deck.
I'll see what all the fuss is about. Do I see any spiders?
You cannot.
Well, What the fuck is going on in here? Jesus Christ.
Bye,
I
guys!
literally-
Sabrina like swinging at the ground,
Just like a
sparking
little
from the floor.
eight-legged problem.
It's like, it's gotta be, like, what the fuck?
Laurel!
I
Spiders
literally
plural.
don't have the movement to get through, the rest of you, so... Yeah, I can't see him. I got nothing.
So fuck me, I guess.
So, fuck me.
Okay. Keytree.
So, I'm going to take a step forward because my token can't see what's happening.
Yeah. You just see along the north wall, there's just like 1,000 dead spiders. Some of them plastered to mush on the wall, some of them charred and flaming or smoking, like embers on the floor, burnt webbing. You see Brina slashing at the ground, sparking up the floor with her flaming sword, and just around this little like part of the wall that sticks out just beside you to the south, you can see this mass of spider bodies skittering down the wall to engage. Here.
Okay, yeah. Can I take, and would I be able to move? Oh no, I don't want to move next to the walls. Okay, I'm gonna move a few more feet just to get some space, and then I would like to cast Create Bonfire on this pile of spiders.
Absolutely. They have to make a dex save?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that is a dirty 20.
Mm.
Does
They
it mean they
just
take no
made it.
damage?
Mhm.
Okay. As the
Um,
flames begin to lick up
Or does
around
it?
them, I don't think it does any half damage.
No, because it's
cantrip.
just a cantrip, yeah.
So
Yeah.
They are just able to skitter out of the mass of the bonfire itself. But they're still in that space.
Petry's like, ah, and is like shooting fire at the floor, and then is like, what's happening? And that's her turn.
Alright, and then if they move into it or end their turn there, they make it. So on their turn, as they sort of burst out and away from this, they are going to skitter down the wall. They will actually move towards you, Keytree. They start swarming up the sides of your body. I think... Yeah. But as you bat them down, you're managing to keep them from getting too much of a purchase before they can try to bite you. You're knocking them to the floor. They keep running up you, but with a natural 1, they are unable to bite and hit you. Okay. That brings it to Kala.
I'm gonna move ahead a bit. Is there only one swarm of spiders?
Yes,
That I can
currently
see.
covering Keytree. She's just engulfed in these spiders. Kind of pooled around her feet. She's stomping back and forth,
All right, I'll try to shoot the spiders.
aiming for the thick clusters of them at her feet. Okay.
24.
Yeah, that hits.
If you're engulfed in a swarm, does that count as being like near it for sneak attack?
engaged with.
You just have to be within 5 feet and not incapacitated, but I don't know if
Then, yeah, that would
within
count.
5?
Yeah,
All right.
43. Okay.
Are they? Some of them still alive?
No.
Okay.
Fuck those spiders up.
Yeah, as Keytree bats them all to the ground, as she's stomping out the last couple, or some of them, keeping them off of her, Kala, you managed to smash an arrow into the ground with such force that it skitters and skewers them all like kebabs. The rest of them disperse in fear, skittering up the walls and disappearing into the ceiling. That brings it to Alexa.
Oh, is there actually something to do? I guess I stumble 5, 10, 15, 20,
You
25.
come around the corner, you see Kitri batting frantically at these things, and Kala skewering some of the bigger ones as they start to scatter and run back up the walls in terror. Brina standing over there, sword flaming, catching her breath.
Yeah, I'll just hang out if I don't see an active threat.
Let me
I
check
mean,
something.
and I don't see an active threat.
Says, what's going on over here? What funny business?
Well, these had been
What's
Black Widows. They
going
would have
on
eaten their
over
mother first, so we don't have to worry about it.
These webs aren't as stringy and messy as Black Widows.
No, no.
Guys, it's a spider.
Ah,
What is a Black Widow?
Oh, what'd you say on for there? No
D&D
reason.
Beyond's being
Ah.
it's been having trouble all weekend apparently, but
Yeah.
it's just being a giant dick. So
Well,
Alexa,
Well, like Wizards of the Coast.
Oh,
so
great.
as you come in, you see Kala hit the last couple of these, and these other ones start skittering up the wall. So naturally, taking in the scene, your eyes move up to follow them, and with your omniscient vision of your cloak, you see, clutching the ceiling, looking down at you,
Bro.
crawls a spider the size of a warhorse.
What?
Whoa!
It's a Black Widow?
It is black with knobby growths that
Ugh.
seem to almost sparkle like hard metallic spines,
God,
and its
no.
abdomen is this enormous pulsing green blob.
With the shape of an hourglass.
Yeah. So,
This.
panic.
With your passive perception, I will say that you do notice that its claws don't appear to be affecting the web around it. And so you realize that it's not invisible and clinging to the webs, because it's not actually making any depressions in them. You are seeing something that has slipped beneath the skin of the world.
You son of a bitch.
What?
Because I've
Because of
seen
your
visibility.
Not this again.
Oh,
Your memory is
balls.
recalled to a secluded chamber in a dark, forgotten ruin months ago,
Oh.
where you encountered a giant spider that could phase out of reality as a way to stalk its prey.
That was with our favorite boy. What was his name?
Oh, yellow corn?
Yeah, but what was the little
Pact!
cobalt
Pact.
Knee pad. Yeah, that guy.
Yellow cone!
I love
That's
that
why I
guy.
don't remember that. as
Look,
well.
Meatpack will always be a fave.
Classic.
I forgot about
Oh,
that spider.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just point that out as I stare up at it. And you know, just, we don't got anything to deal with that right now.
Is that the end of your turn?
Deal with what?
This ethereal spider that's gonna come pop out. I will hold my action to attempt to alert whoever it goes to hopefully give them advantage on something. I'll give them the help
To help.
action.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Third Street stuff.
Assuming it's not me that it comes after I've just pointed this out.
this creature, oddly, it's weird. You've never seen a spider swim, but it kind of moves its legs, although it's as though it's pushing itself through water as it turns vertical and descends to the ground. And then Kitri and Brina, you notice this giant spider shimmer into existence in the room. I believe. Yeah,
Oh, he's stanky
it
looking.
is gonna try to
Also,
bite.
In the event that Alexa was stepping into the square, Kitri would have dropped the bonfire.
Not a problem. I forgot about that.
Oh, did I step at the
Easily
bonfire?
enough, yeah, I did mark it.
That's
I
fine.
didn't realize that that's where you were until just now.
Yeah, so Keisha,
I mean, I
you
could step
see this
somewhere else.
giant spider form, and even as it shimmers into existence, it moves to snap at you, but it does not hit. Which brings it
Okay.
to Galatar.
And said spider is still in existence?
It is. You can see it clearly.
Okay, I'm gonna bonus action Blade Song as I move towards it, and I actually cannot see it, but maybe that's just because of where. So where? Oh, there it is. I see. It's just very. It blends in with the terrain. So beautiful.
It is a
Yeah.
masterful hunter.
Oh yeah, that's great, boss.
It's really scary.
I love it. Let me just zoom in so I can get the full feeling here. Oh god. Okay. I'm going to take a first swing at it with a little green flame on it.
Okay.
That's a 1 or a ooh. Oh, that was a 1 and a 2, so I'm gonna guess a 15 doesn't hit.
15 does not hit. You strike that hard carapace, and those metallic-looking spines just deflect the blow.
Yeah, Galatar though is just like, this is really cool. I personally am very freaked out even by the description of this unreal creature. Just the thought of a spider with any sort of green stomach. Second one's a 19 and a 1, so a 32 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
That's no green flame, so it's just gonna be 19 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And let's it'll be a disadvantage, so it'll just be a straight roll. But I'm gonna fire off one of these little motes of light at it as well.
Tight. Okay.
So that's a 17 plus 11, so a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And that'll be 4d12 radiant. I'm gonna go with 4d12. Ooh, good. 10, 11, 12, and a 7. So that's 22, 33, 40 points of damage.
That's enough.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, as this thing
Oh, that was it?
lunges forward, the sword strike takes off one of its mandibles. As it rears up in fury, you look like it's gonna pounce down with its claws and try to skewer somebody. You manage to hit it in the soft, tender underbelly with your radiant ball from your Crown of Kryta spell. You, Brina, Brina, make a. Well, no, you guys don't need to because of the positioning. I was gonna say you and Kitri and Alexa with Galatar in this room. As that ball strikes into it, you hear a as this thing's abdomen is just scattered across that back wall, which is now oddly luminescent, kind of like crushing a firefly between your fingers.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I put my finger in it. Is my finger
Yeah.
glowing?
Ew.
The legs kind of twitch a little bit and then curl in.
Ew.
Oh yeah, can I take one of my empty vials and get some of this goo though from its abdomen to study for
Gooey
later?
goo.
Yeah.
I'll just mark spider goo.
What does it smell like?
Oddly, kind of like when you crush a leaf in your fingers, that weird
Oh.
chlorophyll-y smell.
Oh, because it's like chlorophyll.
This might be very good for like a candle.
There's just a little hint of like a bitter scent too, like a plant. If you had crushed it, you would think I probably shouldn't get that on my fingers.
Mm. Oh, well, there's not great.
I wonder what it tastes like.
Luminescent spider goo.
Ugh. Okay. Well, that was gross, but
Is everybody okay?
oh yeah.
That's good.
You know, somehow the big one is better than all the small ones. Okay.
You're no longer an initiative. If Birdie and Kala want to move into the room, you can.
I was gonna say, what happened?
Oh, there's a spider.
Oh fuck, it's a big ass spider.
And then
Yeah, it
there
had this
was
cool
another
goo inside of it.
bullet.
Well, sure,
They
buddy.
all have goo inside.
Yeah. Now that you guys are all into this room, you can see where its guts had splattered along that north wall. There's the bioluminescence is kind of fading, but what remains is like a thick, brilliant green moss that just seems to have embedded itself all along, like everywhere that splashed.
That's some alien shit.
Oh, that's cool. Gotta love nature.
And now that you're all in here, you too can see that this path that you're on bends around south, out of sight, and there's a gap before another small section of terrain is visible, and there's a hedge wall of vines over here to the left in the corner.
Hmm.
And you get this thick bubbling sound, almost like a tar.
Says, okay, guys, there's some goop.
What's it taste like?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, don't taste it. That seems bad.
Coward.
Let's not
Science
touch the
requires
goop.
all
Oh,
the
damn
senses.
it!
As you get closer, you can now see a little better over into this chasm. It's about a 15 foot, 10. Hang on, let me double check here. I think it's about a 10-foot drop. 10 or 15 feet down into what looks like a puddle of bubbling green slime, and it's kind of pulsing and glowing, and just bubbling like a thick stew, very slow boil.
To your right, you'll see some
I can
sludge.
see like a bridge far ahead.
There's a bridge.
It's over some murky water.
Oh, that's
Does anyone else want to lead the way? I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting a little nervous.
Why don't you let Kitri lead the way and we can follow right behind her again?
You feel good, Kitri?
Brina,
Oh.
19 hit you.
Yeah, it's.
What?
Nobody! Literally just said, does anyone want to trade?
As you're looking over and you turn to your allies and they start to file in behind you and begin to pass you, the vine wall across this chasm shifts, and bursting out from the middle is a thick vine that lashes across, and it's good sized thorns, razor sharp and kind of hooked, wrap around you and grapple you. You're grappled and restrained.
Oh, fuck.
That's a good start.
And you take 14 bludgeoning damage. You are immune to poison, so you don't take any poison damage.
Damn.
Uncalled for. Okay. This sucks. I'm starting to think that going through the front door may have not been the wisest choice.
Oh no.
Yeah, do we need to reroll and like what do how
It's
are we...
very Parent Trap, not Parent Trap. What, Home
Yeah,
Alone?
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like Ryan was like, if I put steps here, they'll walk through the steps.
As you guys kind of file in
And we did.
around Brina, she kind of presses up against the wall. This vine lashes out 20 feet across this chasm, wraps around her, and you guys watch as it starts to slowly retract, pulling her towards the edge of this crevice. What are the rest of you doing?
Harry Potter and the Goblet of
Firebolts.
Fire.
Yeah, can I
Here it
also
is. Is this-
firebolt it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Or actually, wait, do I have firebolt or do I have Toll the Dead? Maybe I have both.
Yeah, I'll shoot my gun at it.
I'll do Toll the Dead after Alexa firebolts it.
Okay. Yeah, firebolt hits, 23 damage.
It needs to roll a Wisdom 19 for Toll the Dead.
Toll the dead.
16.
Doesn't
Go
hit?
ahead and roll your damage.
It
It,
takes
it rolled a
4d12.
16. Your 16 does hit it.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Sorry, are we in initiative? Or is
only
this just kind of
20
free form?
points of necrotic.
One
damage.
turn, kind of. Yeah, freeform.
How much was that, Chandler?
20 points of necrotic damage.
20.
11 force from the Persuader.
Okay. Kala and Kitri, are you doing anything? Kala's shooting it. Alright, 30.
27.
Marina's wrapped in this thing, right?
Yes, and everyone is slinging everything they have at this vine, and the vine is twitching, and you see little explosions of sap-like fluid, and it's still retracting slowly as Brina is drawn ever closer to the edge.
Ah!
Okay.
Feels
Don't
very
worry
bad.
This isn't like a. This isn't. Yeah, I think the thing I would shoot is gonna hurt Brina more than it would help us.
That's
The
okay.
life knife was.
I will quicken another firebolt because I can still do that in one turn.
Okay.
Ooh, 17 to hit though. That was low damage.
17 does hit.
13 damage.
Maybe 13's all it needed.
All right, so Brina, I need you to make a dexterity
Damn.
saving throw.
Um,
You do have advantage because you're awake and can see this.
I think I have disadvantage.
Oh, because
Just
you're
because you're grappled, so it'd be
grappled.
a straight roll.
Okay. I do have potion of heroism, so I've got bless for saves, but let's just see.
Christ, Marina,
Oh,
come
gosh.
on.
Oh.
Well, will 12 make any difference? Because that was a 3 on the d4.
12 does not.
Awesome! Awesome.
As you're pulled towards the ledge,
Later.
it begins to lift you up like it's going to carry you over the ledge,
Oh, man.
and the vine snaps and is severed as parts of it sizzle and scorch and wither away, and you plunge 15 feet. And you all watch as Brina, with a shout, disappears and
Your boots!
Am I
splash.
able to fly? If it lets go of
Ooh,
me?
she's got her
Is
boots.
is there a requirement for the action, or is it a constant effect?
That's such a good
It's an
question.
action.
I don't think it's a... Don't worry about it.
I'm pretty sure it's gotta be an action. Oh, I moved into the little shit.
Oh no, Alexa jumped in.
I did! I was trying to save her.
No, it's just you have a flying speed.
Oh.
I mean, DM discretion, but I just...
If it just says you have a flying speed and it's not something you have to activate to use, I will say you guys watch as Brina disappears over the ledge, and for a hot second, your hearts leap out of your chests. But Brina, you remember, and you were able to just right yourself. Your boots are like 3 inches above this bubbling pit, and you catch your balance.
She remembered!
Rudy, Rudy.
You watch as she rises up out of the pit.
Oh my god.
The little bit of vine that is left
Yes.
sticking out of the wall sort of twitches like a dying snake, just sort of bleeding sap over until
Whoa.
finally it twitches and stops.
Life and death, those synapses still fire, baby.
Alright.
So,
Oh
if
yeah.
you want, I can scout ahead now.
Yeah, maybe call us scouts.
You
That's
are
Sabrina,
more
why
than
don't you-
welcome to.
Why don't you come back here?
I was just gonna kind of brute force it, but
Yeah,
it
why
might
don't
be
you-
better.
Why don't you just protect me, Brina, and we'll call
Okay.
it square. All right.
Yeah, why don't the rest of us fall like 15-ish feet behind Collar
Oh,
or
fuck,
something?
that's funny.
Okay. So you guys kind of file in, take a second to catch your breath as Kala takes a few steps forward. And you see the passage sort of snakes left and right before opening into a much wider, flat space. And as you look eastward, you see the large cave opening, half covered with vines, or I'd say 3 quarters covered with vines. Most of it is obscured. To the west is another much larger, much wider pit of this green, glowing, bubbling substance, with several small pillars of stone that jut up from it a little higher than the ground, or sorry, perfectly even with the ground that you're on. It's about 15 feet down to the bubbling slime. The islands of stone to your left and right kind of jut up out of it. You can kind of see as you look northward. I guess, hang on a minute. Oh, it's because right. So it is dark in here, and you guys have 60 feet of dark vision, most of you. So about the limit of your vision, you can see these pillars of stone. To your south, you can see what looks like just barely in the dimness, a wooden bridge, a narrow wooden bridge that seems to span slightly higher than where you're standing. And you recall there was a higher entrance from the outside. This seems to somehow connect to a higher cavity, but it runs east to west across this slime pit. I don't know if you can see it on the map, babe, but it's down here.
Yeah, I can see just like a little bit of it there.
Directly across from you, similar in size to the gap that the ledge that you're currently standing on overlooking the slime, there is what looks like a similar sized opening completely obscured by a dense wall of thorns, like a hedge wall.
Well,
Wait, did you try and have us go in the nice, safe way? And we were like, we want the steps where all the bad things are. That's what
one
it's
of
looking
three.
like happened on this.
we'll climb through the gutter. Don't worry about
As you're
it.
taking your time to look, Kala, you hear Galatar and Brina and Alexa kind of step into the room behind you.
So where's the little bridge you said?
All the way south.
All the way south.
All the
Okay.
way south.
And
And
this
raised
is the wall
40
of
feet up.
thorns.
Yeah, I made it sparkly green. I don't
Ooh,
know
I
if you guys
like
can
it.
see that.
It's very pretty.
Well. Fuck.
What should we do?
Maybe we can burn the
I would
wall
guess
some.
the wall of thorns is the way we need to go.
I could try lighting, or Brina's got on her shoes. She could probably try getting up next to it and hacking away.
Oh yeah, I got the sword on
Oh,
fire.
here's a thought. What if Brina, like, carried us up to the bridge, to the other place, that's above the goo pit?
I think that just goes
no
outside.
point debating such a pointless question.
As you
Sorry,
all
Moss.
hear this strange, effeminate voice echoing in the cavern around you,
It's the goo pit. It's the creature of the swamp.
the ceiling of these chambers is kind of a mishmash of thick, leafy, like vines and ivy, what look like the roots of some plants just like creeping along, almost like pipes on the ceiling of a building if you're in the basement. Just sort of, the whole thing is just dense with creeping foliage.
Modern architecture.
And as you guys all stand in this cavern debating, two of the sections of these vines sort of open up, and dropping down, as though seated on almost like a swing, is Blade Master Chrysanthia,
I don't.
whom several of you had observed previously as she indoctrinated another member of the Nightmare Court,
Yep.
which descends from a separate section
Yep,
as
the big
Axemaster Laurent
Yep.
is lowered from the ceiling into the chamber.
I'm sorry, they're coming down on like swings?
Pretty much.
This is giving Katy Perry concert.
Like honestly, golden entrance.
Where's left shark? Now all we need is left shark.
It's actually just gonna be Traherne.
I was gonna say if this was fucking Traherne.
I was prepared.
Oh
for
fuck!
that.
I was
Birdie's
waiting
close
for
to
it
him,
to
guys.
be
Birdie's
true.
close to him.
Oh no,
no.
you moved down. Why did you move down?
I thought we
the,
were safe. I thought for a moment we were safe.
Oh no,
The-
not these bitches.
The figure of this hulking male Sylvari, now almost unrecognizable in its chitinous, white bark-like armor, enormous flanked pauldrons on either side of its head, what looks like could have been a helmet appears to actually be grafted into its skull like a growth in itself, with a Roman horsemane-style crest of bone that arches up from the center,
That is super.
and a single large slitted green eye, as carrying an enormous two-handed battle axe, or a great axe rather, on what looks like an exceedingly long arm. He grins eagerly, mouth just a spray of fangs with drool coming out from between, a sickly blackish green.
Does he have a
On the other
mohawk?
hand, yes.
That's cool
Yeah,
as
it's
hell.
like a bone crest. The other one is the feminine form, Chrysanthia, has two large fan-like flanges, kind of like similar to his bone crest, but going horizontally, almost like a French Napoleon hat sort of deal.
Mhm.
But it's made of this bony, chitinous material, a long, almost petal-like material forming a cloak that seems to extrude itself from her back like a pair of unused wings. They both kind of glow a little bit with the inner green illumination, and she also has one single large, lidless, slitted green eye.
They sound so cool.
She reaches behind her and pulls
Disagree.
downward 2 long swords, one in each hand.
She has 2
Yes.
swords.
I want her.
She is
I was not
dual
expecting that.
wielding long swords.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Calls herself a blade master. We'll see.
So it is 8 o'clock. It is Sunday. So we probably should cut here, I think, because this might be a long combat. I know.
You don't
But
think
I
we
think-
can one-shot these guys?
I mean, like, whatever.
Oh,
I
no,
just got
this is gonna be
nervous.
fun.
Also, I
What makes us
think
think these are the only 2?
it's only been 3 rounds since I activated my blade song in terms of like the amount of space we moved since that second fight with the thorn. The first fight. How
Yeah,
long?
Well,
right.
since the fight with the spiders, you've also encountered the thorn
Yeah, but the thorn
And-
was like we only had 6 seconds of.
in the combat. There, you know,
Yeah.
I leave a little time padding for talking and gathering each other,
You're
getting in the right
pushing
order.
your
Clearly,
luck,
we
buddy.
clearly rushed straight down into the next thing. Have you met us?
This has definitely been longer than 1
Right,
minute.
we're not the dickheads at all.
We literally
Yeah.
spent like 3 minutes being like, I don't know which way
There's
to
no way
go
we wouldn't
next.
have given Kitri shit about
What?
being covered
Is
in
there a
spiders.
spider up there?
No way.
Well, shit. When do we want to play again?
Good question.
Does next Sunday work?
No, because it's the Super Bowl.
Well,
At least, unless I guess we do really early.
It's my dad's
I
the
say
Super
this
Bowl doesn't
kickoff's
start
at like
till
6:30 or 7, right?
yes.
But you got all the day of
Stop
Super Bowl
recording.
coverage. It's a whole.
We could
Oh,
also
very